Hi, everyone. This is Beyond the Podium again. We've got Governor McKee in to answer the same set of questions we've been asking all the candidates. So let's get right to it. Governor, thanks for coming in. Number one, in your own words, what differentiates you from your opponents?
Yeah, first of all, I got a plan, and I got the experience to actually execute a plan as governor, not as only as a mayor, lieutenant governor. So we've gone from last to first in vaccinations, second in the country relative to opening the economy. We've got a plan to keep people working, and second, lowest unemployment that we've had on record. So my experience clearly is different than any of my candidates relative to government.
Okay, question number two. Explain what you see as the most important issue facing Rhode Island, the most important issue.
Right now, it's about the cost of living, for sure. Our budget reflects creating jobs that are going to help with that. Potentially upcoming recession. The best remedy for a recession is jobs. And our budget, the budget I got passed, the sign, has economic growth for the next 5 years built in, and it's going to provide good paying jobs to the people in the state of Rhode Island. Lowest unemployment rate again in 46 years, and yet there's plenty of good paying jobs left to fill.
All right. How are you uniquely qualified to address that issue? Just flesh that out. How are you uniquely qualified?
Well, I'm uniquely qualified because I'm governor and have had the now 15, 16 months. No state has run any better than the state of Rhode Island has over the last, since I've been governor. So the experience there of passing a budget, having the largest surplus in the history of the state of Rhode Island, giving back that surplus to eliminate the car tax completely under my watch, as well as creating good paying job strategies, working on education and other things. I've had that experience as a mayor, as a lieutenant governor, now as governor.
All right, you've been the mayor, you just mentioned that, lieutenant governor. What's an example of a policy or an issue that you've changed your mind on in the past few years? For example, I felt this way on this particular issue, now I see things a little differently. Anything come to mind?
Well, I think that, and that's a good question. Obviously, you're always changing your thinking on things and evolving in a way that makes a lot of sense. I think that one of the things I've changed my mind on is that the state of Rhode Island no longer has to be the first in and last out of these economic downturns. And I've shown that being governor, creating a recovering economy that's second in the country right now. Again, lowest unemployment rate. So I would say that's where I'd like to see my leadership make a difference in the way that people who live in Rhode Island think about Rhode Island. We're heading with momentum that we've never had before, and I want to keep that momentum going.
What question do you wish someone would ask you, and why? I've asked you a lot of questions. Anything come to mind? Oh, I wish Gene would ask me this.
That's one is stumping me here right now because you've asked me just about anything. Anybody can ask me any questions. I have a reputation of being very truthful, even though right now the campaign's questioning that some ways with the candidates that run against me and some of the coverage going on. But I would just say any question is open territory. In particular, as a governor, the more we dialogue with the people that we support and the people that support us and the people who live in the state of Rhode Island, the better.
Do you have a political hero? Who was that?
Yeah,
anybody
I would say
you admire?
Most recent, I think, is Barack Obama. And very like in what I've come into, right? I entered the office as governor under the greatest state of emergency that the state has ever seen. President Obama came in on a recession that was considered almost a depression. He was able to overcome that. He was able to put in a legislation for the Affordable Care Act that's equivalent to a Social Security, legislation that happened back in the 40s. So yeah, Barack Obama, I'd like to be able to kind of do what he did for the country relative to returning the economy and doing great policy that makes sense to help the people in the state of Rhode Island.
What's the best advice you've ever received? Anybody give you some good advice, maybe as a kid or young adult or maybe yesterday?
Yeah, I think the best advice was coming from many of my mentors as well as my dad, is to do your best and every day. And knowing that doing your best is hard work. And it's been hard work, the work that I've been doing over the last 16 months as governor. And also that you're the only one that knows, Gene, whether you're doing your best.